you guys for being here. Hey, Riley. Hey, Teacup. Hey, Ro. Hey, Adrian. Hey, Johnny. Hey, Angie. Hey, Claus. Hey, Steph. Thank you guys for being here. Let's see. Any Canadians here? Angie said. Hey, Fragile Like a Bomb. I have missed you guys. It's been a minute, and a lot of shit has been going down. A lot of stuff has been happening. So that's really what we're going to talk about today. Hey, Mila's mom. Hey, Meg. We're going to talk about a few different things. Sort of like true crime news, but just hanging out and kind of going through these. Hey, K-Brace. Hey, Petunia. Hey, Nature Rocks. Are you guys getting ready for Christmas? Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's like time flies. Seriously, November went by like a snap of the finger. Oh God, it's just crazy. It really is. Hey, Heathen. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Curious Christine. Well, I have a lot of crazy stuff I want to talk to you about, awful stuff, but also crazy. Like, I just cannot believe the state of the world. The kind of like yesterday, because I have another video that I'm planning about the case against Stephen Stearns, what happened to Maddie, the body language and kind of relationship between Jen and Stephen. And then I was just going through, like, reading the news, and I thought, oh my gosh, like I need to do a live and just talk about all these random stories again, because there are just so many. And every time I say stories, like I know it, I don't like saying that. We're talking about real people's lives. So, but what the stuff that goes on out there, it's scary. It's pretty crazy. So that is what we're going to get into. Let me start, and we are going to start with this one because I'm pretty sure we talked about this back when it happened. Florida woman grabs toddler out of backyard, claims she was only trying to help. A Florida woman initially charged last month with confining a toddler under 13 without the consent of a parent saw that charge upgraded to a kidnapping charge during a later bond hearing. Pamela Monsalve, 39, was arrested on November 25th after she allegedly took a 3-year-old boy out of his fenced backyard and walked down the street with him. She set the toddler down after neighbors alerted the boy's mother, and she came outside. The child quickly ran to his mother, who called 911. Didn't we talk about this when it happened? Regardless, how scary. Hallandale Beach police found Monsalve, who told them she saw the boy alone in the private yard and was just trying to help. He was outside. He was naked, she told the officers in body camera footage. He was like with a shirt. Everything was naked. And I asked for the people around to call police, and nobody would call police. In fact, the witnesses said they told her to leave the child where he was when they saw her reach over the fence and grab him. One of the neighbors snapped a picture and alerted the mother, according to local news. A judge found probable cause to charge her with kidnapping and ordered her held without bond. She was ordered to have no contact with the victim or his family or any minors, to stay away from the victim's home, have no guns or other weapons, and no ammunition. Police said she had no connection with the toddler or anyone else in the family. Let's watch this. It's just 2 minutes.
Yeah. At GEHA, we stand behind our members.
It's just so scary. When your kids go outside to play, I live in the middle of nowhere, and I'm still worried. It's like we talked about last time we sat down and did a kind of going through what's going on. I don't know if it was called a true crime news, like if that was the title of the live, or if I called it something else, but we talked about Brittany Patterson, I believe her name was. Remember the mom whose son was found walking, several miles from the house, or however far from the house, down on this road where the cars go fast by this Dollar General store. Mom didn't seem concerned. For me, I'm concerned about, I'd be concerned. I'm concerned about my kids just playing out in the yard and the FedEx driver coming up because of paying attention to true crime or lives like this. What is going on out there? Talking about what's going on. It's crazy. Hey, Mama Bear. I would not be able to even handle the stress of being a mom of young kids these days. I'd go nuts with worry. Hey, Deeds. Good to see you. Hey, Nicole B. Hey, Always Street. Okay, let's watch this. But we have a lot to get into. So hang tight because there is not going to be enough time to talk about all the things I want to show you guys. Like
story on what police are calling a case of stranger danger. A little boy is safe today after police say one of his neighbors tried to kidnap him. NBC6's Steve Litz is live in Hallandale Beach tonight with the details. Steve.
And hey, Chris, you're going to see this body-worn camera and the interaction police had with the suspect in this case. As you said, she told officers she was trying to help because she thought the boy was lost. Police didn't believe her.
Pamela Monslave, seen on police body camera footage being arrested. Before this, though, she tries to explain why she allegedly took a little boy out of his backyard.
He was outside. He was naked. He was naked with a shirt and his everything was naked. And I asked for the people around to call police, and nobody would call police.
Police didn't buy her.
Oh my God, you guys, imagine. And then the neighbors say, you know, like I read to you guys, no, we told her to leave him be and move along. I don't know. What was she going to do with him? Curious Christine, thank you for being a member for 5 months. Love this place. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. And thank you. Hey, Kimberly. Hey, Brandy. Hey, Nanya. I missed Nanya. I'm excited for Melissa's live tonight. Hey, Lil Red. Hey, Bogart. Okay. So now we're going to switch gears because, like I said, there are so many things I want to talk to you about, and I'm not going to have time to get through them all. So, okay, I think we'll go to this one now. Neat sent me this morning. I cannot get over this. I can't get over any of these, matter of fact, but parents charged with abuse after child's botched circumcision using a utility tool, officials say. Now, I'm like kind of questioning, was this an at-home birth? Because I read this article twice. Here, let me read it to you guys. A couple has been arrested after authorities say they performed a botched circumcision on their son at the Central Missouri home last week. Prosecutors charged Tyler Gibson, 35, with 1 felony count of unauthorized practice of medicine and 1 felony count of child abuse in connection to the incident. And this is based on a criminal complaint that the news got from Morgan County Circuit Court. His 32-year-old wife, Bailey Gibson, is also charged with 1 count of felony child abuse in connection to the incident at their home. On November 28th, deputies... Oh, sorry, you guys. Touchy. On November 28th, deputies responded to the couple's home. Charging documents show after receiving a call from a Department of Family Services employee contacted by a hospital employee about a child, quote, who had undergone a circumcision at home, unquote. The procedure did not go as planned, a deputy wrote in the complaint, and the child was taken to a local hospital, then transported to Columbia University Hospital for treatment. The complaint also states the child's father called an emergency hotline to report the child's circumcision. After deputies arrested Dad at the family home, he reportedly agreed to speak with officers and, according to the complaint, said he used a utility tool for the procedure. The complaint goes on to read Tyler Gibson admitted he wasn't medically trained, but said he had conducted research and said a prayer before starting the circumcision. He also mentioned he was not prepared for that amount of bleeding, so they took the child to the local hospital. He and his wife told deputies they left the hospital after 4 hours of the child being there because they were tired of waiting, the complaint shows. You know, this is pretty important. I really don't care about you being tired of waiting, considering that what you are doing is going to affect this child's entire life. Like, how dare you? As a parent, look, this is just the way it is. Whether you're ready or not, whether you're 16 and pregnant, whether you're 35 and you've planned it out, whatever. When you have that baby, you are responsible for them, and you're responsible for showing them all the things about life and packing them up and sending them on their way one day, you know, off to college or wherever. But you are going to be a huge part in this other person and how their life goes and what direction it goes in. Every move you make, you know, and oh my God, you're tired of waiting, so you leave the hospital? No, I'm sorry. Grandma Sherry, thank you for being a member for 7 months. And thank you for the make sure to like. Thank you, Nature Rocks, for being a member for 12 months. Holy moly. Tess, thank you for being a member 25 months. So happy you're back, Allie. I've missed you so much. Love you tons. 'Tis the season to be grateful for all of our blessings. That's all of you. Oh my gosh, so true. And thank you. And I love you back. And then Lil Red, thank you for being a member 13 months. Thank you, guys. Hey, Jonesin. True crime actually has been hard for me lately. Me and my husband are trying for baby number 3. And some of the things people do to their children are absolutely evil. I get that, Riley. I totally do. It can be hard for me sometimes too. And I have to kind of step away a little bit. I never will fully, but if I didn't have a channel, then I probably would step away even more. So I totally get that. And I want you guys to step away when you need to. Steph, thank you for being a member 11 months, just copying everyone. LOL, hit the like. Thank you. Disgusting. What was so pending? They couldn't wait and decide doing it at home was a good idea. Yeah. I mean, do you do you even realize the gravity of this situation? Like you could cause a deformity that would be life lasting. And God only knows. So he and his wife told deputies they left because they were tired of waiting. Court documents show mom allegedly told police she was very hesitant and unsure about the decision to perform the circumcision. And when asked why they proceeded, then she did not respond. The deputies said deputies did not immediately arrest her because she had another child in the home and was breastfeeding. On Thursday, a sheriff's office spokesperson said both the husband and the wife had bonded out of jail following their respective arrest. So, okay, so buckle up, because if you think that was going to be, like I used to put in the title, and I should have put it in this one, rage inducing, we would go through some of the recent headlines and read through what's kind of going on in the world. It's rage inducing. I don't know, but I don't have any other way to say it. Like, just prepare. So parents and grandfather lock kids nightly in roach infested freezer room. 2 Florida children were found locked in a disgusting roach infested room with no heat after calling for help from a broken bedroom window. On December the 1st, deputies from the Bay County Sheriff's Office were called to a home in Panama City. According to my panhandle, we don't need the exact address. True Crime News reports that 2 children, ages 4 and 5, were, quote, yelling out of a broken window, begging for help, unquote, from neighbors. The victims stated they needed to use the restroom, but their bedroom door was locked. When the deputies arrived, the children were hanging out of a window of the house, which was secured by a nailed-in board. Upon entering the home, deputies encountered a strong smell of urine and feces coming from the bedroom. The children were found locked away in the room by a steel cable wrapped around the door handle. The room contained a bed with no sheets, covered in dirt, along with a few blankets and a pillow on the filthy trash-covered floor. Cockroaches infested both the floor and walls. CPS were called in to assess the situation, and during their evaluation, the children informed them that they were not allowed to leave the room at night, even to use the restroom. The 5-year-old also mentioned he was freezing and that his lips were cold. The house did not have working heat. The children's mother, Kathy Merrill, 27, and father John, 31, admitted to authorities that they kept the kids locked in the room at night until they woke up. They had been locking them in since 2023. The mother acknowledged the filthy conditions of the room, but claimed she did not have the energy to clean. God. Sometimes I can't even believe the words as they're coming out of my mouth. I can't even force myself to say them. Mom cleaned. Yeah, I know the house is a wreck, but I don't have the energy to clean. Too tired. How many of us moms, how many of you guys, I'm sorry, that's just so frustrating to read. Do you know how many days I'm too tired? How many days I'm sick? Do you know how many moms out there are living with illness? And they are cleaning and keeping their kids home clean through even some of them terminal illness. Are you kidding me? The parents stated they have been trying to teach the kids to clean their room. Michael Bobian, 73, also resides in the home, the children's paternal grandfather, and he was aware of them being locked in the room in the filthy conditions. Kathy and John have been arrested on child neglect, and grandfather has been charged with failure to report that neglect. They did have a photo of the three of them. I don't know why it's not showing. Unbelievable, though. 2 kids plus chronic illness here, so had a clean house. Yep. Absolutely, Tess. Hey, Lynn. Sorry, you guys. I'm trying to mute to not cough in your ear. I am too tired often, and I set timers. I set a 45-minute busy timer and a 15-minute set timer. It works well for me when I'm having lazy days. That's a great idea. That's something that I've talked to Bentley about, because his teacher will I was about to say prescribe a bunch of homework, will make them, give them a bunch of homework at the beginning of the week, and it all has to be done at the end. And I try to tell them, just do it for a few minutes at a time, and then do something else and come back to it, that kind of thing, so you don't feel overwhelmed. Okay, so now we're going to switch gears. I'll go to this video. I actually see it on this is what we're going to talk about now. As a Crime Online article, but I was recommended this video on YouTube, just recommended it and watched it and saved it to watch with you guys. So this is a case out of Florida, and let me just play it and we'll talk about it.
Homicide investigation in Seminole County. A man stabs his ex more than 70 times. Then he dies in a rollover crash just hours later. I'm Matt Austin. Ginger has the night off. Investigators tell us James Lindsay broke into his ex-girlfriend Kristen Stevenson's Chuliota home and attacked her, stabbing her over and over again, then sped off and was killed in that rollover crash near Christmas in Orange County. News 6's Troy Campbell.
You guys heard about this yet? They said the coroner said, I think at least 20 and up to 70 times that she was stabbed.
Following the story all night, he has the latest.
The Seminole County Sheriff's Office remains on scene outside the home along Hibbard Trail. Inside a bedroom in the home is where they say the victim was found stabbed to death by her longtime estranged boyfriend.
Appeared to be stabbed multiple times it was a horrific scene, probably up to 20, 30, up to 70 times.
Yeah. Seminole County Sheriff Dennis Lima describing the horrific scene discovered inside this Chuliota home early Friday morning. Investigators say 40-year-old Kristen Stevens was found fatally stabbed on the floor of her bedroom. Detectives say just after midnight, the victim's estranged longtime boyfriend broke into the house in jealous rage.
Smashing the window.
In a jealous rage because someone else was there. Listen to this. It is really something, the human condition, right? Our mind, our emotions, all of it. I don't know. It's
What looks like a hammer.
Wow.
Immediately coming in, jumping on top of her, on top of the bed.
Investigators say the victim's new love interest awoke to Lindsay stabbing Stevens, so he attempted to kick Lindsay off of her when he was stabbed in the leg. That's when he ran to a neighbor's house to call 911.
He was stabbed in the leg. Thankfully, survived.
Recently met him through an online dating app. They had built a relationship over the past couple of weeks. They were together last night, and then ultimately, after leaving the gym, potentially having dinner or something like that, he returned back here.
Sheriff Lima says that's when Lindsay jumped into his car and quickly sped away, only to crash and be ejected from his vehicle near Fort Christmas Road, several miles away. Investigators say Lindsay
crashed and was ejected from his vehicle. Joneson, thank you for being a member 6 months. And Mama Bear, thank you for being a member 22 months. Mama Bear 2222 in 22 months. I have to get in on the love too. And then Megan, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh my God. Can you imagine the nightmares, the survivor will have after this? It's just sad.
Lindsay died at the scene.
And crazy.
There's a pretty
the reason I said that about the human condition, because it's just the fact that we humans can get so emotional, and what we will do when we are, how reactive one might be, or to the point where you would do something like this. It's crazy to think about and kind of look at all the different things that a person might do depending on the situation they're in and their mental health.
Aggressive and significant bend where that is. It's likely he was fleeing in excess of 100 miles an hour, was not anticipating that bend, took the vehicle off the road and was ejected from that vehicle. He was located at that scene.
Court documents from November 6th showed deputies responded to the home after the former couple had a physical altercation inside a bedroom. Lindsay was then ordered to surrender 21 firearms to law enforcement on November 20th, which he complied. Both Lindsay and Steven share a 16-year-old son who was at home at the time.
He's a person that has lost his mom and dad in one particular incident.
How sad. I guess when I listened to this earlier, that didn't really sink in, but they have a child who was there at the time. I mean, oh my God. Yeah, and loses both of his parents. Thank you, Neat, and thank you for being a member 17 months. Thank you, guys. I always post a thank you post when I hit a new milestone, but I'll usually wait just a little bit and just make sure we're truly over the hump before I do, because I don't want to say thank you and then go back or whatever, but I've seen that happen. Oh, good, Nanya. Thank you. Congrats on 20K. Thanks for all you do. That's really sweet. Thank you. Okay, sorry, you guys. I really think that schools should be teaching kids in a class each year how to control their emotions. We have a serious national problem being able to control emotions, and it's causing many problems. Riley, I agree with that. I think that could actually be really helpful. Sometimes they teach us some stuff that's not truly helpful to us leading successful adult lives, but that would be really helpful. I mean, I know adults that could take that class, and honestly, I don't know. It just, if you think about a lot of the not fun stuff that goes down in this world, whether it's very serious or even petty, it all comes, it all kind of stems from not being able to control your emotions. A lot of it. So, okay. I just, so sad.
And words can't express the grief that we have as a community, as an organization. And we want to do all that we can.
Sheriff Lima says his agency requested Lindsay be monitored by ankle bracelet because of the November 6th incident, but a judge denied that request. The second victim, who was stabbed in the leg, is expected to make a full recovery. In Seminole County, Troy Campbell, Getting Results, News 6.
National Domestic Violence Hotline.
You or someone you know is in a domestic violence situation, there's help out there. Call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 800-799-SAFE. Again, it's 800-799-SAFE. You can also
800-799-SAFE. I wanted to go ahead and play that. You never know who might be watching you. And I know I'll just leave it at that. You never know who might be watching. Okay. So this is just a short article. It's not going to go into a lot of detail, but I still wanted to show it to you guys and then get into our next one after this. Let me see. Teen charged with stabbing toddler brother and strangling mom. A California toddler has been hospitalized after his 17-year-old brother stabbed him early Saturday morning and tried to strangle their mother. Police say the suspect's stepfather pulled him away from his mother and he fled the scene. Officers later found him and booked him on 2 counts of attempted murder. The 2-year-old boy was stabbed multiple times and taken to the children's hospital, where he is in stable condition. Police did not reveal a motive for the brutal attack or the names of anyone involved. Thank God. It seemed like, everybody survived, and didn't say where mom was taken to the hospital, but just another example of people not being able to handle their emotions, and as a teen, there's a lot of them. Okay, so now we're going to come over here. Toddler dead after she's left in a closet with space heater for 21 hours. You guys, I always say this, but there is no shortage of these cases. It's crazy because if you get, if you're only on Twitter or only on YouTube or only on TikTok, you might only see, especially here on YouTube, there's certain cases that kind of grow these communities, like Summer Wells. This community formed around that case. Now we have Sebastian. There are many cases who never get that. They never get that level of attention. They never get that level of eyes on them. They just don't. So, okay. It's crazy because we could sit here and try to make sure we talk about them all, and there's just no way to do it, which is really sad and just says a lot. So the parents of a 2-year-old Indiana girl are facing multiple charges after the toddler was found dead in a closet where temperatures reached 109 degrees. Bern police officers responded to a call about a death on November 27th and found a trashy apartment littered with garbage that made it difficult to navigate. They found cockroaches throughout the home and a pot on the stove that contained mold. The dead child was found in a closet in the bedroom, which her parents said was where she slept. The toddler was lying in a crib on a soiled mattress in a soiled diaper. Her body was discolored, and officers measured the temperature in the closet at between 85 and 109 degrees, with the highest readings coming from the girl's body. They also found feces in a corner of the closet. An autopsy later determined the child died of hypothermia. According to the court documents, the child's mother, 21-year-old Cynthia Perez, said that she put the little girl to bed at 7 on November 26 and cranked a space heater nearly all the way up. Perez said she woke up at noon the next day, but neither she nor the child's father checked on the toddler until 3. You gotta be kidding me. I don't know. Just being a mom my children have been small, obviously at one point, I cannot imagine waking up and not checking on them for hours. Isn't that the first thing you do? Usually that's what wakes you up in the morning. But it's just hard not to get really infuriated reading this stuff. Perez and Hershey were charged with neglect of a dependent, resulting in death, and 2 counts of neglect of a dependent, according to WANE. 2 other children in the home, a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, were taken into custody, and they both had lice. So the parents made their first appearance in court on Wednesday and are expected back for pretrial conference in February. Yeah, they basically cooked her. Unbelievable. It really is, Riley. It really is. These stories make me so angry at humanity. So many monsters, so many people would have given these babies love. They make me that way too. And it's almost at a point where you're like, you just want to shut it off and not know. But then again, what's like, I can't do that. I need to know. I want to know what's going on. But it's tough. It really does. Just how could you be that cruel? Yeah, she boiled. Unbelievable, you guys. Okay. Now, actually, I think I might get to, let me just grab my Facebook so I can pull a couple others that I had. I didn't think we would have time to get to. We'll start with this one just instead of the one I thought. Also, I had made a community post. I don't know if you guys saw, but Joshua McCoy, the 5-year-old boy who was missing, autistic boy who went missing like last month, they're investigating his death as a murder. So we'll look at that article in just a second. But first, let's look at this. So a Texas man who said he killed people because he was called to commit sacrifices has been convicted on 3 counts of murder and sentenced to death. So this week, Jason Thornburg was found guilty of killing and dismembering David Luerez, 42, Lauren Phillips, 34, and Mary Cruz Mathis, 33, in 2021, according to the Associated Press. Thornburg also said he killed his roommate in 2021 and his girlfriend in 2017. The roommate, 61-year-old Mark Jewell, was found dead in a house fire in 2021. The girlfriend went missing after taking a trip to Arizona with Thornburg in 2017. He was indicted for Jewell's death. So that is the roommate. Thornburg's attorneys made an insanity defense, but the jury didn't buy it. Evidence presented at trial said that he was staying in a motel in Texas during the murders. He called each of the 3 separately into the room he was renting over the course of a week. He slit the throats of Luerez and Mathis. I'm sorry, it's not funny at all, but I cannot pronounce names well, apparently, or words. Apparently, I can't speak well at all. So, excuse me. And strangled Phillips and SA'd her body. He also ate some of Luerez's heart and cut off his private parts. He dismembered the bodies in the motel bathtub and stored the remains in trash bags under the bed before transferring them to plastic tubs. Then, in September, of 2021, he took the tubs to a dumpster in Fort Worth, dumped the remains in, set them on fire, and drove away. Ate some of his heart and cut off his penis. Then he cleaned the plastic tubs and returned them to the store where he bought them. He was tracked down when investigators found video of his Jeep Grand Cherokee in the area of the dumpster at the time of the fire. I don't know why it's taking the pictures away when we look at it, but hey, Aunt Lala. Good to see you. It's been a minute. Yeah. Crazy. I know, it's been forever. I hope you're doing okay. I recently heard a story about a girl who was trapped in a sauna that was too hot, and her description of how awful it was will haunt me. Can only imagine what that child went through. Yeah, Curious Christine. These are all recent. All of these found within the last couple days. If you keep an eye on Crime Online, the website, they post it'll all be current stuff, whether it's a case that's new, a missing person that just went missing, or a case that's went to trial, or someone who's just been convicted, someone who's just been sentenced, someone who's just been put to death, but all a recent update in the case. If we could literally sit down and do this several times a week and you still wouldn't run out of things that are happening to talk about. It's crazy once you really start paying attention to how frequent this stuff happens, how often it happens. It's a lot. It's scary and sad. I was not prepared for that. I'm sorry. Hey, Trulia. Aunt Lola, I think I did hear about that. Was it a freezer or was it the oven? I heard about something like that recently happening. It is constant. It's crazy. It really is. Okay. So now I think, no, this is not the one I thought it was, but there is one that I was going to show you guys that I did see Grizzly covered. And I'm so sorry, you guys. I swear I'm prepared. I have all this stuff like in a folder here, but okay. This is the one Grizzly covered. So, Houston attorney arrested after fatally shooting and cremating special needs son. A father has been arrested and will be charged with murder, desecration of a corpse, and tampering with a crime scene in connection to his son's death. According to local news, Michael C. Howard, a Houston attorney, allegedly shot his son, Mark Randall Howard, 20, at their weekend home in Texas. Howard was formerly diagnosed with Down syndrome, but was considered high-functioning and gainfully employed, according to the New York Post. During a press conference on Thursday, investigator Joseph McDonough an investigator, Joseph, stated that Michael Howard believed his son was an intruder and shot him with a shotgun. According to the New York Post, he then used a tractor backhoe to move the body, transporting his son to a trash wood pile about 2 miles away on their over 2,500-acre property, where he cremated the body. Investigators reported that Michael Howard claimed he, quote, cremated his son in accordance with what he felt his son would have wanted, unquote. He said, or the investigator said, it is a bizarre crime anywhere you are, just because of the nature of the event. Mr. Howard committed this act, and in furtherance of that, burned the body and cleaned the crime scene, which as an investigator, I would take as indicative of nefarious purposes. Michael and Mark Howard had arrived at the family's property either on November 30th or December 1st and were said to be the only people on the property with a possible caretaker having access. So he has a $20 million bond. Prior to their arrival on November 29th, police were called to the property for the theft of a tractor and trailer. Michael Howard used the work phone number on the business card left behind by the responding officer to report the shooting around 2 p.m. on the following Monday. On the afternoon of November 29th, deputies had been called to the property regarding the theft of a tractor and trailer. The responding deputy left their business card. I read that again. What am I doing? Anyways, you guys, Grizzly covered it, so I'm sure she went far more in depth than this article goes. I don't know. I feel like the covering up of the crime, cremating him, all of that kind of makes me think maybe it wasn't an accident. Wouldn't you just call and report it when it happens if that's the case? But I don't know. Ooh, cinnamon rolls. Oh, that sounds good. I have a theory on the United Healthcare CEO shooting called 17 Hours Later. Yeah. Hey, Jen. Well, remind me, Lala, about the United Healthcare. Okay, so FBI agent's son arrested for 13-year-old boy's murder. Police in Albuquerque have arrested a second suspect linked to the fatal shooting of a 13-year-old boy. According to local news, police apprehended a 21-year-old on Thursday night for the murder of Michael Tubb. In August, officers arrived in downtown Albuquerque to find Tubb deceased in a car while his friend had been shot in the leg. Police took Michael Flores into custody for the murder in October after tracing the car he drove during the shooting. Police indicated that AC was present with Flores on the night of the incident. AC, who has a significant criminal background, faces more than 23 charges in connection with the murder. So really, it's just this. Apparently, his dad, Special Agent Brian AC, is reportedly known for his involvement in different high-profile cases. That's really freaking sad, honestly. And then that, that's what you do for a living, and then your child commits a crime like that. It's sad anyways, the fact that it was a murder. That's sad. But then the murder of a 13-year-old at that. But then it's committed by FBI agent's son. I have a theory on that shooting as well, Kimberly says. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to do that. All right. Here's another. This is more of a North Carolina thing. And now I saved this, I guess, right when it was posted 3 days ago, because it's been a few days ago.
Is working to gather enough money to lay their 4-year-old to rest. Police say Stormy Williams died while staying with her aunt in Kannapolis. 31-year-old Vanity Williams is charged with murder and felony child abuse in Stormy's death. WCNC Charlotte's Tradisha Woodard is live in studio with.
Look at her. Oh my gosh, she's so adorable in her little space buns.
New details from an indictment. And Tradisha, you also spoke with a family friend who says this tragedy has changed their lives for forever.
That's right, Nick. After a roller coaster of emotions, they say right now their top priority is peacefully laying Stormy to rest.
There was a different story before the real story came out.
A family still left questioning what really happened the night 4-year-old Stormy Williams was left with the night she passed away from blunt force trauma.
I think that it was just an evil act.
An ugly incident that's now purging family friends like LaGracia Webster to ensure Stormy is laid.
Oh my gosh, you guys. So was being babysat by her aunt and passed away from blunt force trauma.
To rest in the most beautiful way.
So I've been focusing on this funeral, trying to get
She's been arrested for murder.
So Stormy can have the beautiful services that she deserves.
Webster says they're incorporating everything Stormy loved the most, including butterflies and cocoa melon.
It's going to be nice, vibrant, and beautiful, just like her. We're doing pink and purple, mostly pinks. It's going to be butterflies. It's going to be beautiful.
She says they're only a couple $1,000s away from creating something special for a special girl. They're asking for the community's help to make it happen.
We're appreciative in advance of anything, any thoughts, prayers, considerations, any money, anything. Nothing is too big.
A token of appreciation for someone, she says, is gone from our sights, but not from our hearts.
Plans for the funeral are going to be beautiful, colorful, vibrant, precious. I love the way that she is still continuing to live on her daughter's legacy.
Oh my gosh, she's so precious. Okay, so I found this article. The family of 4-year-old Stormy Williams, who died from blunt force trauma while in her aunt's care, is seeking community support to fund her funeral service. There was a different story before the real story came out, basically what we're hearing here. And they included the link. Hold on. So they include the hyperlink for the original news story they did on this, which we're going to read. But first, I want to share, it's, I guess, the funeral home, the link that they included. But here's the link, and it doesn't, I don't know. I'm going to share it with you guys. I think that maybe you would just have to click contact or press search, and you would be, oh, there it is. Here we go. Maybe I can get the direct link, because the link on theirs wasn't. Yeah. Princess Stormy Alexandra Williams. So you can send flowers this way or contribute. Okay. So I'm going to drop this in the chat right now, and then we'll read the original article. Yeah, Lil Red says most families are not in the position to pay for a funeral. Funerals cost more than people realize. I could see that. I mean, who's in the position to pay for it? A lot of people these days, I would say probably at least half of the general public is not in the position to pay anything big, that like any emergency that would cost several $1,000s. You know? I know I certainly couldn't. Child dies while staying with aunt in Kannapolis, police say. A Kannapolis woman is facing charges after her 4-year-old niece died at her home earlier this week. On Friday, the Kannapolis Police Department shared details about the arrest of a 31-year-old Vanity Rubenstein Williams. Officers said they were called to a home along Old Rivers Road for the report about the child's passing. The girl had been staying with Williams since October and was in her care at the time she died. Police arrested Williams on Thursday, initially charging her with 1 count of felony child abuse. However, she was further charged with murder after an autopsy was conducted. Details about exactly what happened were immediately shared. WCNC reviewed the arrest affidavit for Williams, which didn't show specific information. Court records show she was not authorized for bond and will have her first appearance. It's been time for that. So let's see what I can find here. Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure there's more out there if I did some digging, took some time and did some digging, but I just was, again, recommended that video on YouTube and wanted to share it with you guys. And have you heard about the murdered vet that no one was convicted of his murder, Daniel Atwater Cameron? No. Mr. Regan, I haven't. A lot of families are the loss of one paycheck away, yes, from bankruptcy. I read that so wrong. I'm sorry. I think funerals usually cost like at least $10,000 these days. Hey, Mystery. Hey, Boo Sheet. So, yes, the one we were talking about prior to this, yes, he has been charged with murder. If one of the mods tests, will you grab Grizzly's link? She recently did a stream on that, so I'm sure she went super in-depth about it. And then there was one more I just wanted to touch base with you guys on, and then I'm going to let you go because I really had only about an hour. I am working on a video, though, about the case against Stephen Stearns and Jen Soto and Stephen's communications and body language and that kind of stuff towards each other. So like keep your eyes out for that because it'll probably drop randomly. But do you guys remember? Let me see, since it's not showing us the photos, I'll pull up a photo of him. This little boy. Maybe we'll do the People magazine article because we'll be able to see the pictures. Maybe. Foul play now suspected in death of boy 5 with autism whose mom said had vanished while she napped. Can I wait a minute before we get any further into this? Can I just say something? A lot of you guys are probably following along with the case of missing teenager Sebastian Rogers. He just had his 16th birthday. And they're releasing a lot of footage of his last meal out to eat with his mom. And people are critiquing that. My God, listen. You are not going to find Sebastian by slowing down that video and playing it 57,000 times, asking, why is Katie looking around? Why is she looking around like that? Look at her. Why is she looking? She's probably looking for, I don't know, the waiter, or God only knows. But come on, even professionals like body people who are professionals at body language, the behavior panel, they could watch that and they still whatever conclusions they come to aren't going to be the end all be all. I just cannot understand how. I just don't know why do that. You know, these parents out. Seth's video right before Sebastian's birthday the other night was just pitiful. It was absolutely pitiful. These parents are devastated. Why are we watching that over and over again? I just don't understand. I get it that it brings people in your chat and it fills up the chats, that subject. I understand that. As a person who does YouTube, I understand it more than most probably. But is that what matters over everything? Like that trumps everything in life? I just cannot understand. I don't know. There's just better things that you could be doing. And it's wrong. And it's not going to fix or solve anything except for put money in your pocket or whatever. That's the only thing that's being achieved. And like torturing the family members of him on all sides. It's just money over morals all day, every day on here, ain't it? Hey, Ava. Hey, Music City, by the way. Oh, Aunt Lala. Thank you, but gosh. I look around so much at restaurants. I can't with that video and the reckless speculation. Yes, Jim. And it's like just in this pretend little world, like we ain't affecting nobody. Like we're just in this little box that, I mean, anyone in the world could click and watch. It's pretty crazy. And you hear some of the stuff people say. The panel guest of one video I just happened to watch a few minutes of. Who's she talking to? Who's she texting? Who's this? Oh, probably somebody who's waiting outside for him. Or what? Like you just make shit up and just spout it out into the universe as if that's the facts of the situation. And I don't know, as if it's going to help anybody. It's wasting time. Life is short, people. Like, Jesus. Ugh. Well, Fee, you've been a member for 41 months. Hey, I played the little intro where you were on this morning. Some funeral homes will do children for free if they can. Oh, thank you, Lynn. For the creators who are doing it, yes, it trumps everything else. Oh, Ava. Well, I bet your tree will be beautiful, and hugs back at you and love. All these moms judging her actions in that video would be outraged if 1 second of their mothering was judged. Yes, they would, and they are. And not only that, I can guarantee you if somebody pulls out a video of you with your kids at the grocery store or at a restaurant or at wherever from a year ago, you'll probably be looking around, like doing all the same things, if not worse. It's pretty crazy, but you are so right about that. They would be outraged, and they are, and they should be. Don't get me wrong. I don't think we should be talking about any YouTube creators, kids, how they parent, any of that at all. Don't get me wrong. I don't. I think talking about kids, same. It's all the same. Shouldn't be doing it. But some people do. We know that, and people freak out when they do. So why are we doing it to a woman who, not we, but why are people doing it to a woman who you don't know from Adam, and she's at home missing her child on his 16th birthday or right around his 16th birthday? I don't know. I don't like it. I think it's like incredibly cruel. So. That is scary, Music City, Mom. I wonder if that. I have my thoughts about that. Listen, I have resting bitch face and teenagers. So yeah, 3-minute clip, you'd convict me in the court of public opinion. Exactly. Like, oh my gosh. Ugh. It's so frustrating. Johnny. Hey, Edith. It was heartbreaking, the timing of that. I don't know, you guys. It just, like, I've kind of like taken a big step back from my channel anyways, because of like big life changes in my life in the last year or so, and just things going on. Right. And then this place, like, they get so low and not only at the victims of the cases we talk about, or at people involved, maybe not victims, but neighbors or whatever, they get attacked too, but at other creators and stuff. It's this place, it can wear you down, man. Combination of the awful things that happen out in true crime, and then some of these communities where these true crime discussions happen. Yeah, it can just be a lot sometimes. Okay, so Joshua McCoy, 5 years old, was found dead less than 2 miles from his home last month after a 3-day search. Police in Oregon now believe Joshua McCoy, a 5-year-old boy whose body was found naked in the woods less than 2 miles from his mother's home last month, may have been murdered. Now, since Sebastian's case has happened, I will say it's put a spotlight on cases of kids on the spectrum, or maybe not, but we've seen several kids that have been on the spectrum who have wandered off. And because of that, because of Sebastian's case, I think it has, made people notice those cases a little more than maybe they would have before. Even for me, like, it's just something that when I read, I notice it. I like take note of it and move along. But I remember, I don't know, I'm definitely not an expert, but I remember hearing that, well, maybe I shouldn't even go into that. I was going to say it. Kids on the spectrum, I remember hearing a creator saying that they can have a tendency to wander off and stuff. I don't know if that's true or not, but, it kind of just made me always keep in mind there probably wasn't foul play in these cases where we hear this. Maybe they have wandered off. And I was totally wrong with this one, because that's kind of what I thought with this case. So I was surprised to see this. But a search warrant affidavit filed in Coos County this week shows investigators believe there was foul play involved in Joshua's death, according to reports by local news. And they list 3 sources. Forgive me for pausing and not really knowing how I should say things. I never want to offend anyone. I never want my words to be taken out of context. They always kind of will be, or are, if somebody wants to, so I just, sometimes I'm like, I want to say things and then I don't really know how's the right way to say it. So I get tripped up. So forgive me. But anyway, let me continue. The outlets reported that investigators found evidence on the child's body that cast doubt on a theory that the 5-year-old had walked to the spot in the woods where his body was discovered, including a lack of marks on his bare feet that would have likely been present if the boy walked to the woods himself. Joshua, who had autism and was nonverbal, had been reported missing last month after his mother said she woke up from nearly a 4-hour-long nap and couldn't find her son. A search and rescue effort lasted 3 days as local and federal authorities looked for Joshua, announcing on November 12th that the boy's remains had been located. Also, I kind of was not sure if I should even say that, because I don't know if that's correct. Maybe they don't have a tendency of running off. So I don't want to offend you guys. So also keep that in mind, please. Not all do, but a lot of them do. I think they're sometimes lost in their own space. Many do Mayla's mom would be a great, what'd she say? Let's see. Yes, kids on the spectrum do have some elopement behaviors. Thank you. Oh, wow. Synth Serber. Children with autism spectrum disorder are 160 times more likely to drown than children in the general population. Jim, this is really sad. I thought the same as you. Wow. Okay. So I'm glad I shared that because, yeah, I don't know. I like to just share my organic thoughts as they come with you guys. And then sometimes I'm like, I don't know really how to say it the right way. So. Yeah, 4-hour nap, Christine. Yes. Is that even classified as a nap? Well, I remember when I heard it the first time, I thought that as well. So KOBI, citing the affidavit, KOBI 5, citing the affidavit, reported that Joshua's body was discovered about 20 feet off of a local roadway, and that his body had no signs of trauma, no petechia, and no scratches or cuts that would be consistent with him walking through the briars or blackberry bushes. Authorities have not announced the boy's cause of death. The outlet adds that the affidavit alleges there were tire tracks in the mud near his body, and that mud was also allegedly found on mom's car tires, according to the affidavit. The Department of Human Services in Oregon has also been investigating the treatment of German's treatment of her son. KOBI 5 reported, citing the court documents, People has reached out to the Department of Human Services and did not immediately receive a response. Let's see. The boy's father spoke with Oregon Live last month, shortly after his son's body was found. I want the truth, plain and simple. I don't care about anything else. My baby's gone. His dad said, I nurtured him, bathed him, and fed him. I mean, I knew his favorite foods. I knew his favorite colors. I can't believe this happened. His family said he was dealing with guilt after recently moving back home to Ohio and not having seen his son in more than a year. He served in the Air Force and is now on disability, and he took care of Joshua as a stay-at-home father in years past after his then girlfriend, the boy's mother, got a job that took the family to Oregon. So, that is just so sad. I want to play this video, though, because it says related video, 2 deaths among children with autism in 1 week is raising concerns. And that caught my
and vital information to help
what we were talking about. So let's see what this is.
Twice now in the past week, children with autism have wandered away from local playground parks and drowned. News investigative reporter at Fox has detailed the newest case and vital information to help families protect their kids.
He was on his knees, sobbing, praying he could bring back his 5-year-old boy who drowned November 13th in this drainage in Buenaventura Lakes. Then the man who West 2 News is identifying because he has not provided a statement to detectives, used rope to close up the loosely chained side gate to Senses Park, where he believes the boy snuck out. It's specially designed for children with autism and other cognitive and physical challenges. According to the Osceola County Sheriff's Office, the man called 911 when he lost track of the boy, identified by authorities only by the name Arturo, while tending to his younger child. Search and rescue teams found the boy underwater, and despite heroic...
Hi, I'm Victoria.
What the heck is happening? Oh my God, you guys, how freaking sad. I don't know if it's trying to play an ad or go back to our video. What the heck? Let me see.
Parks and drowned. Western News investigative reporter Greg Fox has details on the
Detectives used rope to close up the loosely chained side gate
That is so
to Senses
sad.
Park, where he believes the boy snuck out.
And exactly what we were talking about, you know.
especially designed for children with autism and other cognitive and physical challenges. According to the Osceola County Sheriff's Office, the man called 911 when he lost track of the boy, identified by authorities only by the name Arturo, while tending to his younger child. Search and rescue teams found the boy underwater, and despite heroic efforts to revive the child, he later died at a hospital.
While the boy's father indicates that he got out through the fence, you should know that during daytime hours, the gate going into Census Park remains open and unlocked.
Arturo's father was too upset to speak with us. Census Park is owned and operated by the county.
That's a really cool park, but also, oh my gosh, it just.
While a government spokesperson did not answer our questions about the potential for a child to slip through the chain gate, he told us, quote, "This is a heartbreaking tragedy. Our thoughts go out to Arturo's family during this difficult time and for this unthinkable loss. The county is reviewing the situation to determine the facts involved." Word of Arturo's death comes just days after 4-year-old Waylon Child, who also had autism, died in Ormond Beach. He wandered from Central Park, and late Sunday, his body was recovered from the water nearby.
If the child does get out, they somehow get off the property.
Chisia works at the UCF Center for Autism and Disabilities, or CARD. She says too often parents of children on the spectrum delay calling 911 with tragic consequences.
We don't want you to look for 10, 15, 20 minutes first. Those minutes are precious. We want you to immediately call 911, get law enforcement involved while you're waiting.
My God, you guys, that is just so sad and so scary. All right, you guys. A lot of autistic children are drawn to water. Well, you know, any child, like being by the water can be very dangerous. So maybe they can do something about that park that's right by the water, and maybe it's something that just needs to be talked about more. It's why it's good that we're kind of just having it as part of our discussion. Yeah, because all we can do is kind of learn about these things and talk about them and do better than we were doing previously. So, all right, you guys. Oh, Tess. By gosh, by golly. By mistletoe and holly. Tess has written us a little poem. All right, I am going to let you go because I have to go do dinner, do all the back to school stuff after the weekend, and get ready for it in the morning. But yeah, thank you guys for being here, and I will see you soon. This is a learning experience for me. I'm telling my son to get him lessons ASAP. Oh, good, Christine. See, that's why it's good to have these conversations. Oh, thank you, Rachel. And yeah, thank you guys for being here. 20 more minutes, maybe. Maybe. But yeah, I have missed you guys. And like I said, Melissa has a live happening tonight, and I think it's going to be really good. I think she has a special guest. I'm not going to tell you guys who it is, though. But yeah, I hope to see you guys over there. And thank you for being here. And I hope you guys have a good night. Thank you for everything. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.